Live from Studio 8 in downtown Wenatchee, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley has safely arrived on the broadcast airwaves via the World Wide Web, on television itself, and every place else that you consume your morning television. It is Thursday, the 16th day of August 2018. Dan Kuntz, your host, according to the lower third, which never lies. Steve Harrar, news director, to my immediate left, and a good Thursday to you.
I get this strange feeling I'm in the movie Groundhog Day. You know, things are the same.
You want to sing "I Got You, Babe"?
Pretty much.
Wasn't that the song that played?
I believe it.
Yeah, when the alarm went off every day.
Every morning, yeah.
They say our love won't pay the rent. You play Cher, I'll be Sunny.
The more things change, the more they remain the same, weather-wise.
Yeah, it's another day. The air quality alert has been extended till 10 o'clock on Friday. The all-important weather forecast and your air quality, as we've been doing for the last week, is coming up, the weather forecast. We're going to get a little bit of change, and then believe it or not, it could actually, I hate to tell you this, get worse on Monday and Tuesday. I kid you not. We're going to have some breezes kick up over the weekend as the marine air pushes in. That's the good news. The most of the strongest winds, according to the National Weather Service, will be between 4,000 to 5,000 feet. So it's going to be windy at the highest elevations. But the problem is, what's going to happen is a new high pressure ridge is going to start building up on Sunday, Steve. It's going to be closer to us than the high pressure ridge that's here now. It's going to do this. It's going to come up. It's going to grab all that smoke in British Columbia and take it right down to us. Yeah. There's just no relief in sight. Forecast details are coming up. Steve has the news for you on this Thursday morning. Sports, of course, we'll be talking about that. We have the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion, a schmaltzy opinion, if there ever was one. And it's Jerry Anderson's traditional visit. Jerry and Mike Penning from the Chelan County Football Officials Association comes by and visits me every year about this time. This is their third year in a row they drop by the show because they're closing in on the high school prep football season, and like they've been dealing for way too long, there is a shortage of officials. Yeah. They can't get the...
Can't have a game without a referee.
As Jerry likes to say, without officials, it's just recess. We'll see if we can get some volunteers out there to officiate football. Yeah, that'll be a good conversation. That's all coming up in the second half of the program. You ready to go around for whatever we can see with our Valley View cameras?
Pretty much.
This is not yesterday's photo. This is another live shot from the cross camera overlooking the beautiful Wenatchee Valley.
The River Styx?
The River Styx, the River Thames. It's just lucky. We'll walk you through what we're doing with air quality here in just a couple minutes. There's not a lot to describe there. That's just what we've been dealing with since Sunday, really, of this week, and there's no end in sight, I'm afraid.
And school starts next week, right?
No, school starts on the 29th.
The 29th is?
Yeah, okay. It's 2 weeks from yesterday. So.
But school activities start?
Football has already started. It started yesterday. The rest of the school activities begin on Monday of next week. So it's just, if you're outside, it's just, the air is, you're not supposed to be able to see the air. That's the problem. You're not supposed to see it. Camera 2. What have we got? That's the Arundel Rock camera, looking down towards the Wenatchee Valley as people on their morning commute.
Yeah, looking pretty ugly.
It is. It's looking pretty ugly. It looked actually, when we used this camera, I can't remember if it was yesterday or 2 days ago, it actually looked worse, remember? Yeah. So it doesn't look as bad, and actually it isn't as bad as it was yesterday at this time. That's going to change. Camera 3.
I actually saw some stars in the sky when I got up this morning.
Get out of town.
Oh, yeah.
I did too, but it was the wallpaper on my computer. Camera 3 is taking us to, is that Stein's cat? I can't, that's the monitor camera. Okay, so we're looking west. Look at those pears grow. You know, pears is kind of the forgotten crop around here. We grow a lot of pears, but it's always the cherries and the apples who get all the attention.
That's right.
But
pears, I love pears.
I love pears too.
Bartlett.
Camera 4. We say hello to, that is the Two Rivers camera, I'm pretty sure, up at Lake Wenatchee, pointing up the lake. So if you turn this camera 180 degrees, you'd be looking at Lake Wenatchee, but instead we're looking at the White River Valley, and it looks pretty smoky up there as well. And with the smoke, the temperatures are a little cooler. It's 66, lots of haze, lots of smoke in downtown Wenatchee. Once again, we're not getting to those afternoon high temperatures that the National Weather Service is predicting because the smoke and the haze is acting like a filter and keeping the sun from really penetrating through the gunk. Let's take you through our air quality. You ready? Let's start with our statewide map. This is better than it was 24 hours ago, especially the Puget Sound area. Oh, yeah. Things are starting to improve there. They do have a a front moving in. Some marine air is going to come in, kind of scour out the skies in the Puget Sound area, but it's going to run out of juice before it makes it to our side of the state, I'm afraid. So once again, the darker the color, the worse you are. And as you can see right in the middle of it, that is Wenatchee. And here is our reading, our very latest reading from the 5th Street Air Monitor Station at the corner of 5th and Western, and we are at 223, which is very unhealthy. Now, that's better than it was 24 hours ago at this time.
It was almost pegged out yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, no, we were, oh, I got that. We were at 360, I can't read my own handwriting. It goes to 500. There's your graph. There you go. There's your 3-day history. And you can just see, it looks like a roller coaster. As the afternoon heat kicks up and the day progresses, it gets worse and worse and worse. And then the sun goes down, it gets a little bit better. It goes from hazardous to very unhealthy, and then back up to hazardous and back down to very unhealthy. None of it is good. That's your Wenatchee 3-day history on air quality. Let's take you up to Chelan. And this is Chelan's reading right now, 231. Again, very unhealthy, but better than it was yesterday at this time. Both Chelan and both Wenatchee, by the time we get to mid to late afternoon, will probably certainly be back up into the hazardous zone yet again. And here's Chelan's 3-day history, very consistent, right at that level where they make the transition from very unhealthy to hazardous, and that's what Chelan's been dealing with for the last 3 days, and we will continue to deal with it. The air quality alert from the Department of Ecology has been extended until 10 a.m. Friday. They'll probably let it expire for about 12 hours, and it's going to kick back in again, as we mentioned before. Let's take a look. Go ahead.
By the way, just for those of you who can't avoid going outdoors and you're looking for one of those masks that people are wearing, there's a number of places you can go, but probably the best place you can find one would be at the Confluence Health in any of their satellite clinics or their main hospital facilities. They have them for free. They also have them at the Chelan Douglas Health District office and in other locations around the valley. In fact, we've got a list that we might share with you a little bit later.
It's funny because I mentioned that Jerry Anderson will be joining me in the second half. I saw Jerry yesterday. My air conditioner was not working as well as it should, and I looked at the filter and it was just blocky, which is a friendly reminder. You should probably take a look at your filter as well if you have an HVAC system or air conditioner going. And I went down to, I saw Jerry. I'm not going to mention the hardware store I was at. I told Stans I wouldn't mention their name. And guess what Jerry was doing?
Same thing?
He was buying filters for his air conditioner. He said they were in pretty bad shape. Heads up, if you have an HVAC system, take a look at your filter. You probably need to change it. Here's your forecast from the National Weather Service. Again, these afternoon highs probably not going to get there. 96, I have my doubts. Yesterday's high was 89. They were predicting 93. So take a look at that 96 and you back it off a few degrees, but that's still pretty darn warm. Wind today, nothing. Northwest wind about 5 miles an hour, and that's all there is to it. Now the wind will be picking up a little bit tonight. Northwest wind 9 to 16 miles an hour, gusts near 20. Again, higher elevation, stronger winds, and this is especially going to be the case on Friday night when we have a cool front that comes in. Friday night's wind is this, Steve, northwest 15 to 20 miles an hour, decreasing after midnight to about 9 miles an hour on Friday night. That's going to be the windiest. So it's going to scour out the skies a little bit. We are going to get some relief on Saturday.
Kind of like last week.
Kind of like last week, except they're predicting that Saturday is going to be the best day. Saturday doesn't look too bad. We're gonna have better air quality on Saturday than any other day we've had for quite some time. And then they are predicting Sunday and Monday that it will get bad again to maybe as worse as it has been since this started. Again, as I mentioned before, the wind is going to switch directions. It's going to blow down from British Columbia and bring all that smoke right back to us with another high pressure ridge set up to start building again on Sunday. So they say Monday and Tuesday of next week could be just as bad, if not worse, than it has been for the last 3 days.
Oh, you're just the bearer of glad tidings, aren't you?
I just report the weather. Some people just talk about the weather. Here at the NCW Life Channel, we really talk about the weather. 9 minutes after the hour. The news with Steve Hare is next, and it's brought to you by our friends at Cascade Medical. Trained with a physical therapist who loves the outdoors as much as you do. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
The physical therapists at Cascade Medical love the outdoors as much as you do. But sometimes where there's love, there's also pain. Let us help you get back to the activities that you love. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson, where we've got huge news. We've started our Blueberry U-Pick. It's a great time to toss the family in the car and get on out to Blueberry Hills, where you can get the best down-home scratch country cooking around and pick some of the world's most delicious and largest blueberries that have been high desert farmed. This makes for an intense blueberry flavor, and they are so much fun to pick. Our fields are open 8 to 2:30 daily and restaurant from 8 to 3, so come on out and join us.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Welcome back to the program, and here's some of the stories we're following today on this 16th day of August, Thursday. Good news to report this morning on the Cougar Creek fire. Crews have now established a 35% containment line on that blaze and appear to have greatly reduced the threat to homes in the Entiat area. Managers report successful burnout operations along holding lines on the southern portion of the fire line. Containment lines around structures in the Entiat River Valley were established and strengthened as well, so they're making good use of this more favorable weather. Fire Information Officer Shannon Prather said in his Wednesday morning briefing that the southern flank of the blaze is now fully corralled.
So you can see we got a lot more black line on the edge of our fire. So that means we're getting good solid containment on the east side. We're going to button up this last piece today, and by the end of shift we should have good solid black line all around the eastern side of it, all the way to Division Whiskey and into Division X just a little bit. So still a little bit of open line up on the top by Signal Peak. Up on the north end, that's been just not moving very much at all lately. But it's going to be a focus in the next few weeks that the next fire team is going to have to pay attention to. So coming around to the bottom on X-ray, the whole line on the bottom all the way up to Sugarloaf has been burned. So we had a good strip of fire all along their edge. They're going to work on getting a little more depth in there today and try to close this line in and bring it all the way up to our fire line edge. So that's going to be the main mission today. Tying this in and then bringing depth in on the bottom. And
again, that was Shannon Prather at his morning briefing on Wednesday. And the fire now has burned over 31,000 acres, but there are no reports of any structure damage. They are expecting the fire behavior to ramp up later this afternoon and into tomorrow as a cold front enters the area, bringing breezy conditions to the fire area. The management of that fire transitions today from a Type 5 to a Type 3 team. They'll be taking over at around 8 o'clock this morning. Also, a GoFundMe account has been set up to raise money for an injured firefighter who was burned battling the Grass Valley fire over the weekend. His name is Brett Reed. He's an Okanogan County Fire District 8 firefighter. He and another crew member were trying to leave their work area Saturday when that fire unexpectedly intensified. Reed became separated from the engine he was working on and suffered burns during that incident. The other firefighter was not injured. Brett was taken to Cooley Medical Center and then later lifted to Harborview in Seattle, where he's recovering. Here's a picture of him here, giving us a thumbs up from his bed there at Harborview. Brett has been a volunteer firefighter for 7 years. He lives in the Omak area with his wife and 3 children, so our thoughts are certainly with him as he recovers from those burns. Evacuations were lifted yesterday on the Grass Valley fire as crews got closer to surrounding that large brush fire in the Cooley Dam area of Douglas County. That blaze started Saturday afternoon. During a windstorm, it scorched over 75,000 acres of brush and sage land. The fire is now 87% contained. Despite the lifting of evacuations, though, officials say the fire is still active in some areas with some remaining hot spots within the perimeter. They caution residents that things could change and to remain vigilant. Also from overnight, this was the scene of a minor injury accident that occurred last night in the Leavenworth area. The Washington State Patrol reports the single vehicle crash happened on U.S. Highway 2 at milepost 99. The car reportedly flipped over and caught fire. Details are pending. We have no information right now about who was involved or the extent of the injuries, but we're told that they were minor And so obviously that affected travel through the Leavenworth area overnight. Also this morning, Leavenworth celebrated the return of a popular Stevens Pass restaurant yesterday. The 59er Diner at Cole's Corner was destroyed in a fire 2 years ago, but its owner, Joe Kanata, was determined to rebuild. Well, the diner is a modular construction, with all 5 pieces of that structure being transported cross-country from Georgia where it was built. The tractor-trailer rigs paraded through Leavenworth yesterday with a vintage car group as escort. The 59er Diner food truck currently operates in Cole's Corner, and that's going to continue to serve burgers and shakes during the assembly of the new diner. Here's a shot of the foundation going in. Cranes will start putting that diner sections in place starting today. Opening of that new 59er Diner is planned for later this fall. Well, today is Senior Day during day number 2 of the, or actually yesterday was Senior Day, we should say, at the Grant County Fair in Moses Lake. Fair runs through this Saturday. Events coming up today, which is First Responders Day, includes an antique tractor display, an Old West gunfight and stunt show, and one of the featured events, the Moses Lake Roundup Rodeo. It starts at 7:30. The rodeo also continues Friday and Saturday nights at the same time. Friday night also features country music star Jackson Mickelson on the main music stage from 8:30 to 10. More musical entertainment to wrap up the fair on Saturday night with gold record Mexican musical artist Diana Reyes from 9 p.m. to 10:30, also on the main stage. The Fair Carnival also runs daily today and tomorrow from 2 p.m. to midnight, and again from noon to midnight on Saturday. So get on out to the Grant County Fair, Dan, as they say. All your friends and neighbors will be there.
That's the Chelan County Fair jingle, which
Well,
not bad.
Borrowed from it anyway.
Aretha Franklin died. Aretha Franklin passed away earlier today at her home in Detroit, 76 years old. She had been in hospice care for quite some time. The cause, according to her spokesperson, advanced pancreatic cancer. The Queen of Soul is dead at 76. Ironically enough, she died on the same day as Elvis Presley, who died on this date in 1977. The Queen of Soul. We've lost Aretha Franklin, the first female inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and for my money, the best female singer ever, bar none. She just sang rings around anybody.
She's good.
So, yep.
She was great.
Ironically enough, I was on Amazon iTunes, or not, Amazon Tunes, last night just fishing around, see what was big selling, and Aretha's 30 Greatest Hits album, which came out late 70s, was #1 on their chart. So, Aretha Franklin.
She will definitely be missed.
Absolutely. 18 minutes after the hour on this Thursday. Sorry, I got to get it together a little bit. A reminder about that the summer is slipping away. Here we are halfway through August. I wanted to bring this up. Today's sunrise is at 5:59. Sunset tonight will be at 8:11. Tomorrow's sunrise, 6 a.m.
No.
So we make that transition. Sunset at 8:09. We're losing about 2.5 minutes of daylight every day.
You're just a font of information, I'll tell you.
I'm doing what I can on what is now turning into be a fairly difficult Thursday. The news with Grant Olson will come your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Grant Olson in the anchor chair. He also does a pretty good job putting your weather forecast together for you, and Eric Randstrom handles sports, plus our feature story and anything else that may have happened on this Thursday. It's a nice little tidy package. The news at 5, 6, and 10 with Grant Olson, also available on demand on our website and on our Facebook page, which are 2 of the many ways you can get a hold of us, Steve.
That's right. Oh boy, we're looking for news all the time, and you can be a stringer, or you or our eyes out in the community. So let us know if you see something happening. We have the breaking news hotline, 888-6295. You can communicate with us on social media, on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Also via email. Our address is news@ncwlife.com, and of course our website. A little tab at the top of the page there says contact us, and hey, just communicate with us that way. We're always looking for news stories.
How about those Mariners?
Back in the winning column.
Yeah, D. Gordon, he's a power hitter, you know.
Yeah.
When I forgot that it was a day game. I was doing some other things, and D. Gordon hit a home run. The guy doesn't hit home runs.
That's the second of the year.
Yeah, but he hit a big one yesterday. We got
boy.
sports coming up, also the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike Wenatchee's opinion. And then Mike Penning and Jerry Anderson from the Chelan County Football Officials Association will be back for their traditional mid-August plea, which is you can't play football without officials. Let's get it happen. Let's get you out there and helping these kids out, all right? That's all coming up between now and 8 o'clock. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Live channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Live Sports.
I'm NCW Live News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Live channel.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Welcome back to this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. Let's do sports. Joel Norman is the voice of the Apple Sox. He dropped by our studios yesterday, talk a little baseball, some of the highlights of summer for Wenatchee, and he starts out with an unbelievable catch by a short-time Apple Sox player down in Portland.
Sam Waterman, a guy who I think he's going to be an incoming freshman at the Yakima Valley. We just had him for a couple days over the weekend because of that doubleheader in there. And that whole weekend in Portland was crazy. 3 straight days of rainouts and then a doubleheader on Monday. Then he hit the road immediately to go to Corvallis. It was just, that was a heck of a road trip. Thank goodness it was our longest one of the season. I don't know if we could have done another one like that. But anyway, that was great. And I remember we tried to get that on a Sports Center, and we just about nearly did. But I forget what happened. I think it was the video quality wasn't quite strong enough. That was one of my favorite ones. Corey Myers' 2 grand slam, right? How many times?
And having that happen at home.
Yeah, that was great. I think a lot of fans really appreciate and were realizing what they were seeing, especially because how many times are you ever going to see that happen? A couple weeks ago, I think we had the 3 straight home runs.
Back to back to back.
Yeah, on a span of 6 pitches, too.
Yeah.
That's another one. When do you see that happen? That's what I love about baseball is you never know what you're going to see when you come to the ballpark.
Amen to that, Joel. Joel's going to hang around the Wenatchee Valley through the fall and the winter to help out with promotions and sales and things like that. More of Eric's discussion with Joel Norman you'll see next week right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Believe it or not, hockey season is almost here. Our good friend Arch Ecker checked in yesterday on his Facebook page. He was watching practice at the Town Toyota Center.
Well, the ice is in here at Town Toyota Center, and that can only mean one thing. It's getting to be close to time for hockey season. The Wenatchee Wild main camp won't open up until next Monday, but for the time being, one of our 3 development teams are currently making the most of having ice, as the Wenatchee Wilderness are involved in practice right now. We've also got the Wenatchee Wolves U18s. We've got the Wenatchee Wolverines, our 3 development teams. And some players are finding that to be a great step ladder to work their way through their junior hockey career. With the sound of pucks banging off the walls and skates carving up the ice, it's a great thing.
Yeah, the Wild start training camp on Monday the 20th, and then they'll just have a couple of days to prepare. They have a couple of exhibition games. It'll be at the community rink next weekend against the Trail Smoke Eaters. Tickets are just $10 general admission, and you can learn more. Everything you need to know about Wenatchee Wild at WenatcheeWild.com. Dee Gordon, not exactly known as a power hitter, had a 2-run home run in the top of the 12th inning, and that helped the Mariners salvage the final of a 3-game series at Oakland. The game was a pitcher's duel throughout. I mean, a great game. Mike Leake went 8 innings for Seattle, no runs, just a couple of hits, struck out 6. Oakland starter Brett Anderson, just as stingy. He went 7 2/3 of shutout ball, 5 hits. The bullpens took over with 9 men towing the rubber between the 2 teams. Finally, in the 12th inning, with Yusmario Petit on the mound for the A's, Mike Zunino earned a 1-out walk, and then Dee Gordon followed with his 2nd home run of the season. Nicely done, Dee. 2-0 in the final. The Mariners return home. They're trailing Oakland by 2.5 games in the wild card race. The Dodgers are in town for a 3-game series Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the safe. To the Les Schwab scoreboard we go. What happened in the American League West yesterday? There you see it. Tyler White hit two two-run home runs, and Evan Gattis delivered 2 more solo shots. Houston clobbered Colorado 12-1. The Astros lead in the West, back up to 3 games over Oakland, 4.5 over Seattle. Rene Rivera's solo home run at the top of the 9th lifted the Angels over the Padres in San Diego. The final there was 3-2, and there are your standings. Let's talk football. Seahawks continue preparations for Saturday's preseason game. They'll be down in Carson City, California to take on the Chargers. Coach Pete Carroll says he likes the competition he's seen at all levels during practice.
Still in camp mode, of course, but this was a comp Wednesday for us, competition Wednesday, and the guys really battled today, so it was a really fun practice. I don't know if you guys could tell or not, but that's the kind of work we like seeing out here. Kind of right at that pitch of, you know, almost over the top, but they hung in there really nice. Did a nice job of staying poised and really practicing hard today, so good day's work.
Rookie running back Rashard Perry, by the way, he hurt his hand in practice this week. He's going to be out for a while, but Coach Carroll says the prognosis is good.
He was in the pass rush drill and just caught his finger, and he had surgery that worked out beautifully. It's a couple weeks. He can already move it, and he's not going to be in a cast or any of that kind of stuff, so he's in pretty good shape. So we got a great report on it. He's not going to be out very long at all.
It is the Seahawks and the Los Angeles Chargers in Carson City, California. They should just call themselves the Carson City Chargers. Saturday night kickoff is at 7 o'clock. That's sports at 26 minutes after the hour. Let's do the obscure holiday for the 16th day of August. I love roller coasters. I wish we had a really cool roller coaster here. You got to travel a little bit. I think the closest really cool one that's affordable is probably in Silverwood. But today is National Roller Coaster Day. Roller coasters. I know a lot of people. I was afraid of roller coasters until I went on my first roller coaster at the Seattle Center, and I got over that real quick. It's pretty darn cool. The first roller coaster dates back to 1872 in Rocky Point, Rhode Island. Basically, it was an abandoned railroad track that went from here to there, and so the guy built something, and all they did was they put 6 or 7 people in this car, and they just push them, and they go down the hill about 400 feet, and gravity took over. So happy National Roller Coaster Day. The first real roller coaster in America, the one that we're familiar with today, opened at Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York in June of 1884. Hop on a roller coaster and have some fun. Front seat is the best. If you can get the front seat, that's the way to go. All right, 27 minutes after the hour. Today in history, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 significant events happened on this date. Let's head up north to Alaska. 122 years ago today, August 16th, 1896, Skookum Jim Mason, George Camarack, and Dawson Charlie, names you don't hear much anymore, they discovered gold in the Klondike River of Canada. It sent off the Klondike Gold Rush. About 100,000 people tried to find, or at least make, the Klondike gold fields. Less than half, about 30,000, actually ever made it to the Klondike gold fields, and even less than half of that even bothered to find gold. But yeah, the Klondike Gold Rush way up north began on this date, August 16th, 1896. The only player ever to die because he was on a baseball field and died because of an injury happened on this date 98 years ago today, August 16th, 1920, at the Polo Grounds of New York. Yankee pitcher Carl Mays, a submarine pitcher, threw a hard, high inside fastball to the Cleveland Indians shortstop Ray Chapman. Ray Chapman was hit on the head, and he died the next day. Remember, batting helmets were still 35 years in the future. The only Major League Baseball player to have died from an injury sustained on the field. The ball hit Chapman's head so hard and so loud that Mr. Mays, the pitcher, Carl Mays, thought the ball had hit his bat, and he threw it to first base. Happened on this date 98 years ago today. The strange saga of the L-8 blimp happened on this date, August 16th, 1942. 76 years ago. It was a 2-man blimp they've been doing out of San Francisco. They've been doing submarine patrols looking for Japanese submarines. It was a 2-person crew. It was a Navy blimp. They were on a routine anti-submarine patrol. They've been doing this for quite some time. Something happened to the crew. Nobody knows what. The crew disappeared. Eventually, the blimp without a crew kind of just drifted around, as you see, and kind of fell apart, ended up crash landing in Daly, California. And when they got to the wreckage, the crew was simply gone. They don't know what happened to the 2-person crew. And the blimp just kind of, one of the great mysteries of World War II, happened on this date 76 years ago today. And 2 American legends died on the same date. Babe Ruth, August 16th, 1948. The greatest baseball player in the history of the game, George Herman Babe Ruth, died after a 2-year battle with throat cancer. He was 53 years old. And ironically enough, another great American who lived life fast and hard, Elvis Aaron Presley, found dead in the master bathroom of his Graceland estate, 42 years old. Elvis Presley and Babe Ruth died on this date 41 years ago and 70 years ago, respectively. And if you're just joining us, another American musical legend passed away earlier today with the word that Aretha Franklin has passed away at the age of 76. Let's do birthdays, shall we? Speaking of great musicians, Bill Evans. There's Bill Evans, American pianist and composer. Sunday at the Village Vanguard is a must-have in any record collection. Waltz for Debbie is maybe his most famous song, probably, in my mind anyway, the greatest jazz pianist of all time, Oscar Peterson. I give him a little shot there too, and of course the great Duke Ellington. But the legend Bill Evans was born in the state in 1929, died in 1980 at the age of 51. A terribly underappreciated jazz genius. Frank Gifford, the American football player, sportscaster, actor, born in the state in 1930, passed away 3 years ago at the age of 84, inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1977, but probably best known for his 27 years in the booth of Monday Night Football. Frank Gifford, born in the state in 1930. I'm told he's a real jerk to work with, but his movies are really good. I'm talking about James Cameron. He's 63. The Terminator 2, of course, Titanic and Avatar, probably his two most famous movies. They made a lot of money. James Cameron is 63 years old today. Lover or hater, she's made a significant impact in American popular culture for the last 30 years. Madonna is 60. She writes her own songs. People forget about that. She's a pretty good singer, producer, actress, choreographer, director. Madonna is 60 years old today. And Steve Carell is 56 years old today. There's Steve. Of course, everybody will remember him as Michael Scott in The Office, but also, of course, he was on The Daily Show before that. Anchorman, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Evan Almighty, Foxcatcher. He had an Academy Award nomination. Steve Carell, 56 years old today. 32 minutes after the hour. Before we get to Everybody's Entitled to Mike Minotti's Opinion, it's Thursday. That means Kennel Cameos with Megan McPherson.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life channel. We are here with Don Davies, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and joining with us today is Vera. Can you tell us about Vera?
Sure. So Vera is 5 years old and female, of course. She's spayed. She was actually one of the dogs that we transferred up from Texas. And Texas has, unfortunately, kind of a high kill state down there. So there's a lot of dog rescues that we work with, and we help to rescue those animals and bring them up here. And so she came up all the way from Texas. And she's such a good girl. We put her out in a adoption event, and unfortunately she got attacked by another dog. Didn't you? Yes. So she had to go to emergency care, and then she's been in foster care for a little while. But she is all healthy, good to go, and she is just done being in the shelter. She just wants a nice home that she can call her own.
How is she with kids and other animals?
She's okay, but I really think that she would be better just in a quiet environment. She needs a little bit of exercise, but I think for the most, well, I know she loves to sunbathe. She's always laying around out in the sun. So I think she'd be good with adults. Takes a little bit longer to warm up to men, but I think that's just because of their voices. It just takes a little while to get used to, but yeah. So I think a quiet house would be best for her.
All right. And if someone wants to adopt Vera, what should they do?
Should come see us at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue. You can also give us a call at 662-9577. And she's also on our website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Vera.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Christian Chelan here with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Make your dream of building your own home a reality today. Bay Equity Home Loans has teamed up with Real Homes to make building your new home a smooth process. Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee offers new construction loans, FHA 3.5% down, and VA 100% construction loans.
Stop on by or give us a call today.
Hi everyone, Brent. Hey, don't mind, we're just making a commercial here, Randall. You're okay. Hi, everyone. Britt here. You're gonna love this. When you see this, come down and see us behind Nissan. I can do it. I can do it. The all-new 2018 Nissan. That's done, I'm done. We can't do it. Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee. Better performance, better proof.
Find it all at Wenatchee Valley Mall. Get your back-to-school favorites from Macy's, Marshall's, Ross, Hot Topic, Zoomies, and the Children's Place. No matter the age, Wenatchee Valley Mall is ready to fulfill all your back-to-school needs. Check out their website for current hot deals. From head to toe for the very latest in trends, start your school shopping tradition at Wenatchee Valley Mall.
Did you know that our pets can put on extra weight just like us? Obesity is the most common preventable disease in dogs and cats. Your pet's excess weight can lead to health issues like joint pain, arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, and more. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff at Paws and Claws Veterinarian Hospital care about your pets, and they can help you keep them lean and healthy. Call Paws and Claws today at 888-PAWS or find them on the corner 4th and Isle in East Wenatchee.
Looking for a hands-on, high-demand job? Now is the perfect time to get trained for a career in manufacturing. Washington currently has a shortage of skilled tradespeople, and retirements are making room for more. The machining program at Wenatchee Valley College is designed to give students the foundation to excel in this precision industry. Don't wait, there are only 15 spots left. A 2-year degree and a 1-year certificate are available. Learn more at wvc.edu/machining.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, a cool scene in the movie La La Land, you know, that flick that was almost Best Picture a while ago. The two main characters, Mia and Seb, were dancing and singing while they're commenting on what a waste of a nice evening it was, as they weren't, at that point, romantically involved. Now, Rosie and I both looked at each other, and we kind of grinned during that scene, because many years ago, we were on a church trip to Israel. I was going out for a walk, and I ran into Rosie in the lobby of the hotel, and I asked her, hey, she wanted to come on a walk with me. Well, we ended up sitting on a dock looking at a full moon over the Mediterranean Sea, and we joked about how romantic it was, and how it was just too bad that we weren't two different people romantically involved. Well, over 40 years later, I guess we were the right people after all. Yeah, I know, this is schmaltzy, but that's too bad. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Localtel. Get your homegrown summer fun at the 2018 Grant County Fair. It's happening August 14th to 18th at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake. The NCW Quilt and Fiber Art Festival is this Friday and Saturday at the Town Toyota Center. View over 300 quilts, doll and beading displays, artisan market, live demonstrations, and more. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
Lake Chelan Mailboxes is a small place with a lot to offer. Job one is shipping and receiving from A to Z. They pack it, they label it, they ship it. But did you know we also offer notary service online computer access, legal forms, copies, greeting cards, and of course, mailboxes. Chelan mailboxes, everything you need in one small package.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Every August, just about this time for the last 3 years, we should just make this a regular appearance. My good friend Jerry Anderson from the Chelan County Football Officials Association pays me a visit to say, can we get more people to come officiate our football games on Friday nights and Saturday afternoons and Tuesday nights and Monday nights? Because we need officials. And I say, sure, Jerry, you can come on. And he is back again today. But you brought a friend with you, Mike Penning, the past president.
I do have a couple of friends.
You do have a couple of friends.
Popular belief.
Jerry Anderson to my immediate left, Mike Penning is all the way to the left. Let's talk football. And Jerry, you're very familiar to this program, but Mike, this is your first appearance.
Yes, this is the first time Jerry asked me to come along, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity to get our face out there, and hopefully we can get some recruits out.
So a little something about you, Michael. Give us a little, tell folks about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Yakima, Washington. I moved to the Wenatchee Valley about 5.5 years ago. Really enjoy this area, and upon my arrival, I made friends with one of the referees, Stephen Fromm, and he invited me out to join the crew, and thought I'd give it a shot, and been in love ever since. So I've been reffing. This will be my 6th year of football officiating. I did the basketball officials last year, so. Really excited.
It looks like you played. You're built like me, just a strapping, handsome son of a gun. So my guess is you played football.
Yeah, back in high school, played some football.
Where at?
East Valley, Yakima.
Oh, East. Okay,
so,
good.
Graduated over there.
And what brought you to the big city? What got you out of Yakima?
Job.
Okay.
So I came up for a job opportunity, and been here since, and I love it.
Do you miss minors?
We stop there every time we go back.
Absolutely.
We have to.
Absolutely. So you, Stephen Fromm, who's one of the top officials in this area, recruited you, and you said, "Okay, I'll take a shot at it anyway," which is what Jerry is here for. And you decided this is something you could do.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go involved with it, but once you get going, it really is something that I really enjoy. And there's a lot of stereotypes out there that, well, you're just going to get yelled at, you're just going to get picked on and things like that. But really, we've seen a lot of changes over the past few years, which those stereotypes are out the window. And without us on the field, these kids can't play football. And like Jerry always says, without officials, it's just recess. And that's very true. I mean, it's a simple phrase, but it's true. And that's why we need more officials out there so we can start training them, keeping them, and have a healthy association.
And as Mike mentioned, the verbal abuse of the officials has declined dramatically amongst the coaches. That's not necessarily the parents. You want to address that, Jerry?
Well, the problem was recognized several years ago. Unfortunately, the WIAA, the governing body for sports in the state of Washington, got involved and have made it clear to the coaches that they got to quit riding the officials, because we were losing too many officials early on in their career. Because, you know, 7th grade kids, that's their first exposure to organized football in the schools, and that's where we start our officials too. You know, you start your new officials at the lowest level and let them build their way up. And some of these junior high coaches thought maybe they should have NFL officials on their game, and it caused a lot of problems. But that, I think, has been, I mean, we get treated better now when we show up at schools than we've ever been treated. They're very welcoming. They make sure that we have some place to dress and to do the things that we need to do in preparation for a game, and it's gotten pretty good. Fans still get excited, like fans I think always will. They just have to, people need to realize this is an avocation, and most of the guys have 8 to 5 jobs that they work, and then they then they leave their family again and they're out. You know, we go to do a game, we're gone 4 or 5 hours depending on when the game is, and you know, maybe make 50 bucks. So it's not a money-making proposition. It's something we love to do. We love the game. Most of us love the kids. That's why we're out there. We want them to have that opportunity of team sports like we did when we were young.
I don't think I've missed a high school football game on a Friday night in decades. And I got to tell you, for the most part, Mike, and I'll ask you this, I think the officials do really a good job.
Yeah, we strive ourselves on making sure that we are knowledgeable in what we're doing out there, right? Because we're always have everything against us when we walk onto that field, right? Whether it's the coaches, the players, the fans, everything is against us. And so we pride ourselves on a lot of preparation, a lot of training, a lot of knowledge before we even step foot on the field, so that we can have that knowledge going into the game, even though everything is against us. And we pride ourselves on that. As an association, we have a lot of very experienced officials. So as a newer official, it helps make you feel a little more comfortable because you have those guys there that you can rely on. And I feel like it's a brotherhood as far as the association. You're part of something. The guys there all like each other, and we all get along, and we all help each other, and we boost each other up to make each other better. And you definitely, like Jerry said, it's not for the money. It's for the love of the game, right? If it was for the money, we wouldn't be out there. And I do it because I love football. I love giving back to the community. And you feel like you're part of something when you're out there, and that's the special part about it.
And it's not just brotherhood's a good word for it, but it doesn't. We do have a lady official in our association now,
Yep.
and she's doing a super fine job. She was a rookie last year, and she does another sport, and it escapes my mind now. Volleyball.
Yeah, she does volleyball.
So she has some experience at officiating, and she came out and joined us last year. Like I said, she did a terrific job, and she's going to move right along this year in terms of the games that she receives. So if there's any ladies out there that really like football, this is a great opportunity.
Right.
And it should be pointed out, and as Jerry mentioned, you're not going to get rich being a high school football. You start out at the smaller schools. You'll start out at junior highs and some of the Bs and the A schools, and those games, and you work your way through the system. They're not going to say, okay, you're doing the Panther Wildcat game Friday night for your first game.
No.
That doesn't happen. What was your very first game, Mike, as a Chelan County football official?
7th grade football, Cascade.
Do you remember it?
Yes, I do. I was very nervous, but once you get going, it actually isn't too bad. You're nervous at the beginning, but it's good. And like you said, we don't throw you out to the wolves. We definitely bring you along, and that way you can pick it up piece by piece, and then eventually you are doing the Wildcat and Panther game, which is a very exciting game to do.
Let me ask you this: when Stefan first said, "Will you do this?" and Mike said, "Yeah, I'll take a shot at it." Did you watch a football game, but not watch the game, but watch the officials just to see what they did, where they positioned themselves, that kind of stuff?
When I watch football now, it's all about watching the refs. To be honest
Well, in
with
all
you.
fairness, it's in his blood. His dad is a very experienced official down the Yakima Association too. So
he's been trying to get me out for years, but my job situation, it does require some flexibility, and so when I was in Yakima, my job just wouldn't coordinate well with the schedule of officiating. And so yes, my dad's always tried to get me out, but then when I moved up here, my job had a little more flexibility with it. And so I was able to work it into my schedule more, that way I can do it. So
you mentioned Yakima. How are we doing? We're specifically talking about the North Central Washington area, but statewide and the other officials associations for football throughout the state, how are they doing on officials? Is there a shortage everywhere?
Everywhere, for some reason, except Snohomish County, and we're trying to figure out what their secret is over there. We actually borrow officials from them. If we're short and it's a tough weekend, they'll come over. They may work a Cascade game, or they're fortunate they have a member of their association that has a condo up at Chelan, so they live to come over and they'll do a Manson or Chelan game and just spend the night up there, and they enjoy that trip over. So we borrow from them. We borrow from Okanagan County also.
When the athletic directors sit down and they do their schedules for the leagues, be it the Caribou Trail League or the Columbia Basin Big Nine or the Central or the CWAC or whatever it is, does the availability of officials play a role in that, or they just do the schedules and assuming somebody's going to show up?
They just do their schedule, and then they, in July, early August, they ship their schedules to us for 7th grade to the varsity level. And we end up with, for example, the second weekend of the season this year, which would be Labor Day weekend. We've got 6 home games to cover right now.
And with 30 some odd, I'm doing the math in my head, you got 30 some odd in your association?
About 28.
28, that don't add up.
No.
And about 17 that can do varsity.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
And so what happens is we turn around and we go, first thing we'll do is we'll go to the schools to say, any chance you can play this game Thursday night or Saturday? And a lot of the schools will cooperate with us and move their game to one night or another. Then if that doesn't work, then the guy that does assigns us to our games, he's on the phone, he's talking to Okanagan County, you got any extra officials? Snohomish County, you got any extra officials, you know?
Right.
And somehow we get it all worked out.
I remember a couple of years ago, the Eastmont Davis football game, originally scheduled for a Friday night, had to be moved to a Saturday afternoon because there were a lack of officials. We covered that game, and the thing that you noticed about the Saturday afternoon high school football game is that there just wasn't a lot of energy. Everything was flat because the kids want to play on Friday night underneath the lights if they're a varsity football player for a big school, and you could just tell that nobody really wanted to be there, and it was sad. And we don't want that to happen, do we?
No, we want the kids to have this experience, whatever level it is. Yeah, you're right. Friday is a traditional Friday night light thing, and we'd like it to be that way, but there's only so many bodies to go around.
Have you two worked together as a crew? Or?
Oh yeah. Jerry, I'm what you consider a white hat referee, and Jerry's been my umpire a lot, and we work well together. In fact, he took me under his wing when I first started. I had a lot of games with him, and he was an experienced official and was able to give me a wealth of knowledge, just like all our officials do. So I encourage anybody who's thinking about it, don't be afraid of not knowing anything how to officiate, because we help you. We move you along. We help you. We're not going to put you in a bad situation. We're going to make sure that you're prepared before you step foot on that field.
And that's the most important thing of all. Yeah. It really is. I'm glad to see that the coaches have cleaned up their act, and most of them. It's fun. I shouldn't say that in a slightly joshy matter. It's been my experience that the coaches, and I'm talking about the high school level, now I'm talking about junior high or middle school, but the coaches at the high school level, the yellers and the screamers and the in-your-facers and the headset throwing guys usually don't do as well as the soft-spoken, let's work on this blocking technique coaches who are more into teaching and not yelling. That's been my experience.
I would like to tell you what the players say about coaches like that, but I can't repeat it on television.
So you said 20 some odd?
We're at, I believe, 29 really right now.
You had your first meeting a couple of days ago. You had some rookies come in to do some to think about it. People are out there. Hopefully, we've planted that seed. What do they do? Do they go to a meeting?
Call me. We'll get them lined up. We meet every Tuesday night. Is our regular meeting night, and we'll do every Tuesday now through the middle of September, and then we go to kind of an every other week schedule. We've got a lot of things that we like to cover before the season actually starts. We'll put in, I don't know, 15, 20 hours in the classroom before that first game on the 31st of August to get ready for that. But yeah, and like Mike was saying, we try to kind of mentor people along a little bit. You'll go to a 7th grade game and you'll see at least two rookies on that crew, and then somebody that's got 3 or 4 years experience, and then some old guy like me out there trying to herd everybody around and try and help them out, and that's how we do those things. But they're welcome to give me a call, and we'll get them hooked up.
Any significant rule changes this year, Michael? Anything that has been passed that's changed at all?
Nothing too big. Just points of emphasis are, safety is always a point of emphasis with anything officiating. Our number one job as a referee is to make sure that those kids go home safe, and that's what we focus on every year. Whether it's targeting, violent hits, things like that, headshots. We're there to make sure that those kids are safe in the playing of sport, and then just some other minor things like uniform, proper uniform wearing, things like that. But safety is always a big emphasis. And as far as rule changes, no big rules this year, just some minor ones.
That's got to make you feel good.
Yes. You don't have to relearn the rule book or anything. So
they haven't made any significant rule changes, I would venture, in the last 10 years. It's all just tweaking things a little bit, like Mike said, to make things safer out there.
Jerry's been an umpire for a long, long time. For those of you who don't know where the umpire is positioned on the field, the one official who has the best chance of getting knocked on his keister is the umpire, because he's kind of between the secondary and the linebackers. And I've seen you take some pretty sizable hits and pop right up, Jer.
I have.
Yeah.
Surprises me.
I don't get up quite as quick as I used to.
Scares the heck out of me.
Yeah. I've asked you this question before, Jerry, and I'm gonna ask this to Mike real quick while we have the time. And I'm going to ask you again, too. You've been official for how long now here in North Central Washington?
5 years.
Who's the best football player you've ever seen? When you're done and you're in the locker room and you're talking to the guys and you're saying, boy, that blank blank can really play football. Any specific athlete jumps out at you that you remember?
First year was Trey Adams for Wenatchee, just a big lineman, and obviously you can see what he's doing at UW. He's just been excelling, All-American, and so he's probably one that really stuck out at the very beginning just because of his size. You don't see that size around the valley very much, but athleticism, I would say the running or the wide receiver last year for the Panthers, I'm trying to remember his name. He had some speed out there. I forget his name, but you know, this valley, it reminds me of Yakima. We got similar build kids, and it's always nice to see some people make it after high school, especially like Trey Adams. So I always root for local kids.
Jerry, I know I've asked you this question before, and you've got a few more years under your belt than Michael here. What are some of the standout gridiron players that you can remember over your years?
Well, Trey certainly is. I've seen him, and I suppose the most outstanding would be Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah,
got to do 2 of his games when he was a senior in high school. They played here at the Apple Bowl. And then the next year, when he was a freshman down WSU, the Kuwavs came up and played WVC in a game. Mm-hmm. And 2 weeks later, he was starting on the varsity at WSU. He was incredibly...
Just a little bit of a talented guy.
Yeah. He was, for a high school kid, incredibly large. Had the biggest hands I believe I've ever seen in my life. He could hide a football behind his back and bootleg it. He was and a tremendous athlete. So he was. He's probably the best I've seen.
And I'm proud, if you don't know this yet, the schedule is out, of course, for Wenatchee High School. Wenatchee and Walla play each other again this year, which is great. I mean,
do they?
Yes.
Oh,
they
great.
Played each other, of course. It was the rivalry. Even when they weren't in the same league, they always played each other all the way back to like the 20s. It was the Eastern Washington big school rivalry. And they're going to play each other again this year, which is great. And it's going to be up here at the Apple Bowl.
Oh, sweet.
Really one last thing, and I want to stress this. You mentioned about how the coaches have really gotten their act together as far as the verbal abusing of the officials. What's your message to parents as they go to the game and they watch their kid play football? Michael, what if you could tell the parents anything, what would you tell them?
We're not out to get your child. Point blank. We're out there to make sure that we call a fair game. We're human, right? We are going to make mistakes, and we do. We admit that. We can't see everything at every single time. There's only 4 or 5 of us out there watching 22 players. So there are going to be things that are missed. So we are part of the community as well. We shop at the local stores. We put our money into this community. We just ask a little bit of respect for us and what we do, just like we're respecting you guys and your kids and your coaches. It's all about professionalism out there, and you know, what better way to set an example as a parent to your kids by having a good sportsmanship. And it has gotten better. Since I've been here the last 5 years, it's tremendously better. In fact, I gave the Sportsmanship Award last year. I presented it to Eastmont High School, which has always had kind of a negative connotation to them. They come a long ways. Their fan base, their coaching staff.
I think Coach Don is doing a tremendous job there.
Yeah,
he really is.
Very good job. I've had nothing but good experiences with him. I've worked his sidelines before, and so it is improving. And so we just want to work together. We want to make it safe, fun, and enjoyable for the kids out there on the field.
The Chelan County Football Association, get a hold of them. If you want to, you can get a hold of me on my Facebook page or our Facebook page. I'll give you Jerry's number. Let's get people out there. It's perfect for somebody who's young and still is in pretty good. It also keeps you in shape, too.
Well, and it's good for retired guys like me.
For you.
You could come out now, you know, somebody just retired and looking for something to do.
Yep.
Drag it out there.
Without officials, it's just recess. Have a good Thursday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.